Camera's rolling.
Baby, I'm too young to know any better, but I guess I'm just too old to care. I'm waiting on the morning light to clear the air. Now the sky is hung with regret, but I know that you pay flags. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe, the one that you hated.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello and welcome to the Big Show, hosted by me, Jimmy Smith. Alongside of me is my co-host, color commentator, Dwayne Ward. The Big Show is a podcast where we discuss modern day issues like men's health, masculinity, the hard truth about dating, and what makes a man a man. So it's time to get the Big Show started. Good morning, Dwayne. How are you?
Good morning. I am awake and ready to roll. What's up with that intro?
I was going to ask you, what is going on with that? Did we just become official?
I think we did. I think it happened. That was like that looked like that had a little bit of legitimacy to it. I mean, wow. I don't know. I'd love to hear what people are thinking on that one. What do you guys think of the intro there?
Yeah, you guys like that intro? I think Dwayne went through my Facebook pictures and stole some pictures and put the intro together. I think is what happened.
Yeah. I was like, give a couple pictures in there and all that good stuff. Okay, we got our first good response there. Good morning, guys. Love the new intro. Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We got Ashley.
Oh, Ashley. Hey, good morning, Ashley. She's a good friend of mine.
Oh, cool.
All right. So, Dwayne, we've got ourselves a show today. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of feedback and stuff. Like I mentioned, we got some people messaging me on Instagram, some people reaching out to me on Gmail, and they're asking me for some relationship advice or some dating advice, things like that. As a matter of fact, Ashley and I have been working together for a while. I learned her up pretty good, and she actually gave me a very good compliment a few weeks back. She's currently married. She was not married whenever her and I first started together, and she has now become married, and she says her relationship is better than it ever has been. So I appreciate that. I love her to death. She's a great friend of mine, and I want to see her do the best. So, but like I was saying is, I'm getting a lot of feedback and stuff. And of course, I do a lot more coaching with men than I do women, but I, of course, talk to both. Yeah. And there's a common denominator on a lot of what men's feedback is out there. They're talking about how it's tough out there in the market. They're talking about how it's tough out there when it comes to careers and dating and dealing with other men and women, things like that. And, one of the things I continue to tell people, especially men, is that you're going to have to suffer, and it's going to make you a better person for it. I tell you, There's nobody listening to this podcast right now who has not gone through suffering, because the way that life is it comes for us all. The suffering comes for us all. So if you know it's going to come for you, whether that's chosen suffering or whether that's unchosen suffering, you want to try to make the best that you can with that suffering that's coming your way. So I figured today, let's go ahead and discuss a really hot topic that people kind of get wrong every once in a while, or at least figure out that a lot of times people go, hey, why is this happening to me? Why is life always kicking me in the nuts? And the truth is that it happens to us all. We are not special. No one gets to avoid life suffering, and no one gets to have an easy life where they just coast right through it. Some of us have to go through more crap than others, but we all have to deal with it. Sabrina says it right. You're tested in the fire, and it's always the final product is what, how you handle it, I guess. But, talking about suffering and stuff, the more you develop as a man, Dwayne, I've noticed that the more choices that you get, the lazier or the less productive you are, the fewer choices that you get. So if you want the most choices in life, then you're going to have to push yourself into the realm of being uncomfortable, and you're going to have to take risks in life. And people do not like taking those kinds of risks because, like we mentioned, it's painful. There's a feel of failure. Sometimes that failure and that pain comes in monetary stuff where you lose a bunch of money trying to start a business, or you lose friends, or you lose time. But you're going to have to be productive and take risks if you want to live the best life that you possibly can. At the end of the day, you have to understand life is hard, and suffering will be a reoccurring visitor of your life. But as you level up as a man or woman, your choices actually get more attractive. In order to get there, you're going to have to make life decisions first. And when it comes to the suffering life supplies all of us, there's good news and there's bad news. So let's get to the bad news first. Let's talk about the bad news of suffering, okay? The bad news about suffering is that no matter how good of a person you are, life is not going to treat you any better.
Oh, God,
You're not going to be, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Life is not going to treat you any better just because you're a good woman or a good man. Not going to be able to avoid suffering. It's going to come your way. The good news, though, because there's good news. The good news is that you get to choose your hard. You get to choose your suffering. And trust me, chosen suffering is much better than unchosen suffering. So let me explain the difference between chosen and unchosen suffering, because there's a clear difference.
Okay.
Chosen suffering is what happens when you choose the challenge, like when you choose the pain. Examples of what chosen suffering would be like if you decided to get on a fitness journey, or if you're studying for college, you're cutting back on luxuries to save money, you're training for a marathon, things like that. All of those require suffering, but you chose that suffering yourself. You know, you chose to train for a marathon. You chose to go to college, and you knew that there was going to be an amount of suffering in there. You don't get to avoid the suffering, but you get to choose the suffering. That's what I mean when I say chosen suffering. Now, unchosen suffering is the stuff we don't like. Unchosen suffering is a suffering that life gives you without your consent. So examples of unchosen suffering. I mean, look, here's the reality. And I'm not telling anyone listening to this anything they don't already know.
Yeah.
Unchosen suffering is going to happen to you.
Yeah.
And it already has happened to you. If you're above the age of 14, it's already happened. Your parents will pass away. Your loved ones are going to die. There'll be friends that will unfortunately betray you. You'll lose your job, and your relationships in life are going to end. Those are the things that unchosen suffering will bring us. Your body will eventually fail you. You'll become sick. You'll become old. These are things that are going to happen that you have no control over. The only way to prepare yourself for unchosen suffering is with chosen suffering. You can elect to put yourself in the fire, like Sabrina said. She said it great. You can elect to put yourself in the fire and temper the steel that you are made of, a hardened steel of your choosing. The steel that you chose to temper yourself with, a foundation of strength, a foundation that'll last a test of time and shield you from things like life's unchosen suffering. By you purposely choosing difficult things, you'll arm yourself against those difficult situations. It's going to suck. I'm not saying it's not going to, but think about how much more fragile you would be if you hadn't overcome all these things. I mean, every single successful person that I know and that has a good perspective of their success has elected to do the hard things on a regular basis. They knew that they would suffer whether or not they took action or whether or not they did not take action. But instead, these people who are successful, they chose to pick up the suffering of their choice instead of allowing life to make the choice for them. So, men, hear me out and hear me well. Life is hard, but you get to choose your hard. Men do not get to live life on easy mode. Men have to play this game of life on hard mode. If anyone has ever played video games, Dwayne, I'm gonna take a gamble and say that you might have played one or two in
Yeah,
your
one or
life.
two. Yeah.
Okay. So if those are people who know anything about video games, you start the game, you create a character, and somewhere before the game starts, you get a choice of what mode you want to play that video game on. It's
Oh, yeah.
usually defaulted for like normal mode or whatever it is, but there are
Yeah.
some choices where you can make it easy, you can make it like normal, you can make it hard, or you can make it impossible.
Right.
And whenever you play video games, there are rewards that come along with those video games. It could be a reward from like armor or weapons or money or vehicles. It all depends on what game you're playing, right? You guys get it. But the harder you chose to play that game on, the better the rewards you get for taking that challenge. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then also if you choose the harder level, you don't use cheat codes. I'm gonna talk to the gamers out there, but you don't use cheat codes. You get better at the game quicker. I mean, you're gonna suffer a lot, but you're gonna get better at the game quicker. So that then, if you play somebody else that did take life on easy mode, you're gonna own them. I mean, you're gonna beat them every time. And again, not saying it needs to be a competition, but you're making yourself better. You're improving yourself. You're suffering with the repeated losses earlier on, but it helps you get better. It's not like a diamond analogy. You take that lump of coal, and under pressure and heat, you form that perfect diamond, and you just have to work hard to get there.
So think about what Dwayne said. Now apply that to life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you play the game of life on easy mode, you do not get hard mode benefits.
Mm-mm.
If you play the game on hard mode and you win, you get hard mode benefits, and hard mode benefits are very nice to have. Very nice to have. So this is kind of what I'm saying. You don't, especially men, we don't get to choose to play the game of life on easy mode. Men have to play this game of life on hard mode, but you do get to choose your hard. Here's what I mean by that. Marriage is hard. Divorce is hard. Choose your hard. Obesity is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Being fit is hard. Choose your hard.
Right.
Being in debt is hard. Being financially disciplined is hard. Choose your hard. Communication is hard. Not communicating is hard. Choose your hard. Knowing God is hard, and living a life without God is hard. Choose it. Having meaning, long-lasting relationships are hard to do. Living life with no one who loves you is hard to do. Choose your hard. You see, life is never going to be easy. It will always be hard, but we get to choose which hard we choose. That's the difference between chosen suffering and unchosen suffering. So if you just understand, which I know many of you do, that life is not going to allow you to not choose suffering. You're going to have to swallow that pill. But if you know you're going to, then doesn't it make perfect sense that you choose the pill that you swallow instead of life choosing it for you? Because even like these guys, I get the biggest questions I get from men are about women. We're obsessed with you beautiful women. Damn you guys with your femininity and your damn good looks and your hair, and you smell good. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, it's good. And, I'd like to hear like some from folks out there in TV land on, what Jimmy's talking about, like times that you've picked you went easy mode and it turned out X, and you picked hard mode, it turned out Y. And what are some challenges that you'd face, overcame, or ones that you didn't face and didn't overcome, just from not taking those next steps or working hard to fix it, and kind of where you're at now, and then maybe some reflection. Of course, my life, as everyone else's, has a bunch of them. I mean, one is just a recent one. The decision to start addressing my health concerns and trying to get better. That's been like the low-hanging fruit, example for today's topic. I had been over the years just getting in my, happy, chunky phase. And I had been fit for a while, but, life and all the excuses that we all come up with. And, Jimmy here helped me out. And he said, hey, get off your dead ass and start doing something about it. And, we started doing different things. I can tell you a month and a half, I want to say now, to now, 2 different people. I'm I am fit, I'm saying physically, or how I hold myself, a completely different person. And I'm seeing the benefits. Here's a hard note that's going to hit everybody. Last night, and I was actually joking before the show, I went to a gala last evening where I had to dress in a suit. Well, I hadn't worn this same suit since Christmas time, and at Christmas time, I was like, can I get away with popping the button out of my extra large pants that that I got fitted about a year ago, because I can't even fit into those pants? And
you were going to leave it unbuttoned. You're going to leave it.
I was going to leave it unbuttoned. Do the buckle trick. I don't know if we all
We've all been there.
Okay, we've all been there. Okay, good. Well, last night, lovely bride went ahead and got my suit out for me. She's like, "You're going to this damn gala," because she likes to show me off for some strange reason. But I get my pants on, and I felt like I was a rapper because the pants just fell off me. I mean, it was ridiculously huge. So I actually had to do the belt trick differently. I had to like fold everything over and crank it, and so my pants would stay up. And the jacket, I looked like, now there was fat guy, little suit. It was basically little guy in fat suit kind of thing. But it was the change there is, had I not done the things I'd done over the last month and a half to 2 months, and I've again lost a lot of weight, I would be going, ooh, I'm gonna have to wear sweatpants to this gala thing because I couldn't fit my drawers. But last night I'm sitting here, everything is very loose on me. All my clothes are loose. I'm gonna go out and buy new clothes or something. But that was the benefit of having listened to you and said, I'm going to start doing the right thing, eating better. I had to turn down cheeseburgers and pizza and all the horrible things I love to eat all the time, and actually start doing something. I'd probably have lost more had I done more things, but making those changes, the benefit, the rewards for doing that, it worked out well for me. And then, of course, now I got to continue that journey. But it's a choice every single time I see a cheeseburger. But it's a choice. You have to make those changes. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. But hopefully, had some folks comment on some of the things that happened in their lives. Let's see here.
Yeah, I posted Aaron's.
Oh, you did? Okay. All right. I was kind of like in my head, just thinking, talking. I didn't get to see a lot of the comments. So. If you guys have a quick story about something that you did that was very difficult and scary to do, put the quick story in the comments section, and we'll read it. Let's inspire other people from your story. And I know a number of people that are out there that, again, folks that have been joining into your show, initially from Dad Talk Today. They had that base there, and there were people that have been going through the custody issues, and there was those choices there. And again, it's not 100% across the board, but we have people that are like, you know what, I'm not going to sit down and have them take my kids from me, have them take everything from me. They're going to fight. And, those people that are fighting and doing what they can, educating, getting themselves educated, fighting the system, being a part of this community and all that, they're the ones that are, that diamond. They're honing their skills or sharing the information. Yeah, it's not overnight, but those are going to be things that are going to be built up and shared over the generations. The impacts the things that people are doing now are going to be seen now and in the future by them and other people. Again, it may not be the immediate gratification of getting your kids more, or getting to see your kids right out of the gate. It's going to take time, but the not choosing something is going to guarantee that you'll never see your kids, and then your kids will never see their kids, and so on and so forth. And going to be worse for everybody. And that's, having people
either way, it's suffering.
You're going to suffer. Yeah. You got to pick it. Exactly.
And that's what I mean. The chosen compared to the unchosen suffering. The unchosen suffering in that scenario would be you don't get to see your kids. The chosen suffering is you're going to spend money and time fighting for them in the court, and both options really suck. But I would tell you that we all know which one of those two choices would work out best for him. Is fighting for your kids.
Right.
So if you gotta eat shit and one's red and one's yellow, freaking at least pick your color, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Throw a little food color in there and go for it. And you're going to have more of a chance of success fighting for your children. and doing
Yeah.
it the right way and planning and all that. And there's, a lot of more to talk about on that, but I will be here all day.
Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. There's a bunch of
Oh,
people
yeah.
here watching this, and we only have one like. So if you guys don't mind, hit the like button for me. But it kind of reminds me, a couple weeks ago, I was doing a consultation with someone. It was a gentleman, and we were talking about this very subject, about suffering. And he was asking me about, he wants to get married. He's not having a very good time on the dating market, and I go into helping him understand that he's got to build himself up. He has to build enough value up in the eyes of the women that he wants in order for these women to pick him, because it's hyper competitive out there for men. And, he gave me a little bit of a pushback, which is fine because I don't mind pushback. But, he did not like the fact that we have to work so hard, because we have to work so hard to get women when we have to work so hard in our bodies and, our careers and all these things. And I had to go down this road about the chosen and the unchosen suffering to help him kind of level set his mind, to help him understand, buddy, the fight that you've been fighting, that's the minor leagues, my friend. Yeah. And you're talking about major league results. Like you want to win the major league trophy here. You're playing minor league ball. You haven't suffered enough. So I had to level set his mentality. And some of the things that I was sharing with him, and we've talked about this before, is that, I let him know that men, we have to fight this life on hard mode. Women get to live life on easy mode. And I know that it's not going to go over very well when women hear this, but let me explain. Okay. Women live life on easy mode, and I'm especially referring to more modern women, 35 and under. 35 and under is what I'm really referring to. Life gets exponentially harder for women as they start to age up a little bit, and they have to take care of families and things like that. But the younger women, they live life on easy mode, and that's why women don't oftentimes get hard mode benefits. And you hear the equality argument and all these things, because they don't put in equal work, but they want the unbalanced rewards of it. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Does anyone think that the women that they see in VIP had to pay her way to get there?
Yeah. Great example. No. Yeah. No, none of them.
No.
Yeah.
When you see a man in VIP, for sure that man had to pay the cost to get in that room.
Oh yeah.
So there's an example, and there's many of them. I'll give you a few more. But when you see women in VIP, we almost always know that she did not take her wallet out to pay to get in VIP. They almost always were asked to get in there, but every single man had to pay his way to get in VIP. Those bottles are $300-400 a bottle, and when guys are holding one in each hand, they had to pay the cost. When women are holding one in each hand, it was given to her. When women are on Instagram taking pictures in front of or inside of Bugattis or Lamborghinis or Ferraris, do any of us think that's her car?
No.
When she's in Dubai, when she's in France, when she's in Paris, does anyone honestly think that she paid her ticket to get there? No.
Yeah, no.
Okay. No. That's what I mean when I say easy mode, hard mode. You see, when you see fine women on yachts, do anyone think they had to pay to get on that yacht? No. All they had to do was be young and pretty. But every man on that yacht had to pay his way. He either had to pay the ticket to get on the yacht, the fuel cost, or he had to spend $50 million to buy the damn yacht. Hard mode, fellas. Hard mode. Okay. We play this game on hard mode. So let me tell you, let me give you some examples on whenever I'm coaching men and when I'm coaching women. And we've talked about this before. And for guys who are kind of tuning in, don't know much about my show, I want you to kind of listen up here, because this will be interesting. Whenever I do consultations with women, and I'm referring to modern women, let's call it under 40 years old, 35 and under, I ask women what kind of men they want. And just like Dwayne and I have mentioned before, these women will give a laundry list of things that these men must have in order for them to even be in their space, to even be in their attention.
Fixes.
He's the sixes. He's got to be 6 foot tall. He's got the six. He has to make 6 figures a year. He has to have a 6-pack. He has to have a 6-inch Johnson. All these things. Okay. He's got to be charismatic. He's got to be great in bed. He's got to make her feel good. He's got to be safe. He's got to be a fighter. It's all these things, right? And I sit there and I just remind them. All I do, I don't tell women what they should want. You're free to want what you want. Yeah. All I do is I coach people on saying to them, the kind of men or the kind of women that you want, are you able to attract and acquire and keep these men or these women, right? Because the kind of man you just described is a very rare man. You're talking the top 5, top 1% man. And if 99% of all the women out there want the same 1% of man, then that 1%, that 10% of men that you guys are all looking for, those men have the options of 99% of all of you.
Right.
And that's why these guys are hard to find, guys who are being or want to be monogamous. Why would they be monogamous when they have the run of the litter? These guys have spent 20, 30 years building themselves into the kind of man that you would want. Why would they choose just one woman? And that's the rub. Then I ask them, the kind of man that you would want, what would he want from you? What does he get from you? And they're baffled. They're baffled.
Me.
Yeah, me, this. They get this. And I'm like, what does that mean? Well, I mean, they get me. And then I asked them to be more specific because they were very specific when they were talking about the kind of man they want, but they're very vague when they talk about what he gets from her. And that's the problem. Like the answer of what she wants from him could fill up a huge book. The answer I get from what he gets for her, it would leave half the Post-it note that I wrote it on blank.
Right.
Because he doesn't get a whole lot. He just gets me,
right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
So I ask her, define what that means. And she says, well, he gets this. And we both know what that means. When they go this, right?
The lower nether regions.
Yeah. So think about that, folks. Think about that. Okay. Women and men, honestly, think about that. And I'm not talking about all women, right? I'm talking about most modern women, not all.
Right.
But this is what really grinds my gears, Dwayne. Could you imagine if a woman asked us, so Jimmy, what do you bring to the table? And I said, this.
And bring to the table.
You get
all
this.
Yeah. 45 seconds.
Can you imagine the look on their face if a man answered the question that way? Well, so I'm looking for a husband and I'm dating around and I'm looking for the best kind of man. Can you please explain to me what I get, what you bring to the table? Honey, I'll tell you what, you're in luck today because you get this.
All this.
Bon appetit, baby.
Yeah.
She would look at you like you had 3 eyes, man. She would say to you, well, okay, well then who's going to pay the bills? Can you afford a family? What kind of car do you drive? Are you going to be able to protect me? Can you even fight? What kind of job do you have? Will I feel safe, Dwayne? Will I be proud of you when I take you out with my friends and family? Can I live the lifestyle I want? Will you pay the bills so that way I can chase my dreams? It would be a plethora of questions that she would ask. But
Get this.
Did you forget what?
Yeah,
I already told you this.
Why are we talking still? Shouldn't we be like?
They would have a whole list to check off, man. But they're over here saying, "Oh yeah, I bring this." No, ladies, I'm sorry. No, you have to bring more to men than that. If men are expected to go through the unchosen and chosen suffering, and they make it out on the other side, then you're going to have to offer way more to a man than what you're just sitting on. Okay. Let me share something with the ladies. Okay. For all the ladies out there who complain that men only want one thing. Not trying to be rude, but for those who say men only want one thing, trust me. Okay. Let me reassure you of something. Men don't just want only one thing. They honestly want more than what's between your legs. You want to know what men really want, ladies? We want love. We want support, family, children, purpose, and a reason why we get up so damn early every morning and work so damn hard. That's what we want.
Fidelity.
Okay. Loyalty, femininity,
Yes.
cooperation, and peace. We don't want only what's between your legs because, like I mentioned before, what you're offering us comes standard on all models. We want way more than that. And it's not just punani. We want love and appreciation and respect.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Has it ever occurred to you women that the reason why men only want what's between your legs is because that's the only thing of value that you have to offer?
God, I was talking about this just the other day. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a dick. Okay. I'm not trying to be rude. But for the women who reoccurringly have this issue with men, trust me, men want more than just one thing. But if a woman cannot bring anything to that man of value other than what she's sitting on, then that will be the only thing he'll want. You have to understand that if you're meeting multiple men and the common denominator is you're going to have to do the same thing that I'm telling these men. You're going to have to go through some chosen suffering and level yourself as well.
You know, you were talking earlier, and it made me think of something. With the whole working hard and suffering and bettering yourself. And I thought like of the kind of the X paradigm where you have women and men, and women are on easy mode and men are on hard mode, and then taking that with the market value of men and women at their respective ages. So I probably should come up with a diagram for this, but on the bottom, and it's not bottom as in the bottom, but say men are on the bottom, women are on top, and the line goes this way for women, and the line down represents time, and then for men it represents up as far as marketplace. When men and women are in their early 20s, women have beauty, that that their fitness, their beauty, and men they have whatever they have, and they have to acquire all their things, assets and knowledge and all that, and then over time that X's, it crosses, and then it changes, and because men are put on hard mode, they're having to work and suffer, and they keep building themselves, and those successes happen. And then when they get into their 40s, 50s, 60s and on, then they're highly desirable because they've been through all those fires, all those trials and tribulations, and that's how they get there. You've got women who start out here in their teens, early 20s, is like, oh, I'm pretty, I can get on the yacht, I can do the whatever. But when they haven't done anything aside from look at this, their value goes down, on down, and they have nothing left to offer. And it's like, well, why would I want you? And it then made me think of, what if women did the same thing men did earlier on? They started, they had their beauty, and of course they kept themselves fit and all that stuff, but they worked hard and busted their tails their entire life. What would happen? They would be like this,
right?
I mean, and going to your comment about men want more things, I mean, you talk to Jimmy, and he great advice and stuff, and I can just say, as another guy, I want more than sex from a woman. I want I mean, can you imagine an intelligent conversation with someone, or someone that's got your back, or someone that you can share life experiences with, struggles, and and they approach it from their perspective, and you bond, and you build your empire with that person, and they're knowledgeable, or they're willing to at least work with you to gain that knowledge to get there. I mean, I'm just trying to think of the formidable woman that would acquire those things, hopefully earlier on in life, what she would bring to the table when the wall hits that so many people talk about. What kind of woman would that person be if they would have struggled like a man did and built all those things up and then got into her 40s? I don't know. It's just one of those random thoughts I had.
A very, very good point. And let me give some advice to my young men. Okay. The men that are under 25. Okay. You guys are learning life. You guys are out there like little horn dogs trying to sleep with a bunch of women. I get it. I did the same thing when I was in my 20s. Okay. But let me tell you something about sex that I've learned. Okay. I have been very fortunate to be pretty well with the ladies. I've done it all, from one night stands to all kinds of stuff. I'm not even going to go down that road in case my mother's listening, but I have done my fair share. And let me tell
just
you what
left
I've
the chat.
learned. Yeah. Jim's mom left a chat and then my phone gets blown up. Call me when you're done with this podcast. Like, damn it. Shit. You guys got me in trouble again. But in my mid 40s, where I'm at right now, this is what I've learned. Younger men, this is what I've learned. Okay. Once you scratch the itch of a couple one night stands and, you know, conquering a few women here and there, trust me, the rewards are diminishing. Okay. Honestly, how many women can you really be with? I mean, it's all kind of the same. There is no intimacy and no sex better than the sex with a woman that you love. That's honest truth. A woman that you connect with, that you have a chemistry with. There is nothing on this planet better than being with someone that you honestly care about. Okay. It just takes it to a whole new level. It becomes surreal. It becomes like euphoric. It's just, it becomes less physical and more spiritual and emotional. And for some of the younger guys, you guys might be saying, oh man, that sounds kind of corny. You trust me, bro. Trust me. Whenever you fall in love with a woman, there's not a better bond or a better feeling in the world. All I'm saying is that I'm going to teach you guys how to make sure that you pick the right women, because if you pick the wrong one, there's no greater pain than picking the wrong woman. But trust me, this is not a bash woman podcast. Women are essential and they are needed and they are wanted and they are valued. All I'm saying though is that the common mindset of the modern woman is not conducive to long-lasting marriages and long-lasting relationships the way they were in my generation and the generations before. So, but make no mistakes, women are extremely valuable and they are needed and they make this world go around. They are the ultimate multiplier of men. But going back to women who are talking about, you know, hey, this is all I have to offer. This is all I have to give. I just want to give some advice to those women. Women, if you want us to put our last names on you and cut you in on half of the assets that you did not work for, then you're going to have to do more. You're going to have to bring more to the table. You can't just say, I bring this and I'm an entrepreneur, or I bring this and I pay my own bills, but I bring this and I have my own place. And yeah, I bring this, but I pay my own car loan. Look, women, stop with that. Okay. The fact that you pay your own bills and you take care of your own kids and you pay your own car note, that doesn't make you special. It makes you an adult. All it does is mean that you're being an adult. That is the bare minimum that men have to do in order to even to begin to date, is to pay his own damn car note and have his own place. We don't even get to date unless we have those things down. But yet some of these women out here will brag about it as though it's a badge of honor, and it's not. It just means that you're above 18 and you're doing the very bare minimum. Slow clap.
Yeah, golf clap. Yeah, it's almost like guys saying, hey, I didn't crap my pants today. I've learned how not to do that. That's when a woman says that, that's what I would hear is, oh, you learned your potty trained now. Okay, great. Now what do you got?
Women, you can care about those things. You can. I mean, you can be proud of your career all you want, but I promise you, men don't care about your career. A guy would, here's the truth, ladies. Here's the truth. A man would rather have a kind, loving, supportive, feminine woman that works at a grocery store than an unruly, uncooperative, independent, I don't need no man complaining woman that runs her own business. If given the choice between those two, men would rather take you from the pharmacy at CVS working the cash register and wife you if you're the kind, feminine woman that he wants, than being some boss bee with her own career, because we don't care. We don't care about your money. We don't care about your career. We can't spend your money anyways. Who, generally speaking, funds the relationships? Men. I can't spend your money, and you're not going to spend it on me. You guys hardly ever do. So I don't care. Women, men are tired of the boss bitch. We're tired of it. You don't impress us in the slightest. The only people that you're impressing with your boss bitch independent attitude are your other single girlfriends. That's the only people who are impressed with you. because you're not impressing the men. Marriage is going to be a fleeting thing for most women under 35 years old. It's going to be a fleeting thing. Marriage rates are rapidly declining, and it's not because men do not want relationships. It's not because men don't want to be married. It's because men are not getting what they want from you. And it becomes a bad deal to become married, and that's unfortunate. Women today have been conditioned into thinking that their money, their careers, their independence is an attractor of men, and it's not. It's your innocence that's the attractor of men. It's your femininity, your loving nature, your ability to be a good wife and a good mother that is an attractor to men.
Oh,
So-
yeah, it's insane. I mean, of course, the data is not. Marriage is at an all-time low. And then, the divorce numbers, it's funny because, people will try to say, oh, look, divorce rates are declining. Well, marriage rates are at an all-time low. So if you don't have marriages, you're not going to have any divorces to show that it's declining. And if you were to take that equation, you take that all that information into account, divorces are actually still really bad. But what you're talking about, the marriage is going to be fleeting. Men are checking out. I mean, the numbers, 75% of all millennials, men are like, we don't even want to be in a relationship with women because they grew up and saw what happened to their dads in the way the laws are set up today. And two, they're like, what do I get out of this? What's in it for me? The things that you were talking about earlier, what do you bring aside from this to a relationship? And unfortunately, most of the women that are out there don't bring anything to the table. They don't bring that, hey, let's build an empire, that go get them. I'm here. We're going to support each other. We're going to, build that empire. They just don't do that. And then, it's getting worse because 63% of all millennial women are single parents. They're, going to sleep with Chad. No offense to any Chads out there. I'm just, using the meme. But they're sleeping with any guy and pumping out a crotch goblin, and then they're settled with that, living at home. And a guy's like, you've already done. Why? I'm wanting to, build a life, have children of my own, not raise someone else's children, and all those different things, mixing together. Guys have just said, I'm out. I don't want to get married. Women need to start bringing something to the table.
Yeah, they do. And, remember, ladies, when I say that women go through life doing this life on easy mode, I'm referring to more of the younger women who are pretty and modern, and they're in the VIPs, and they're getting things handed to them by men up and down. I'm not referring to all women. There's a lot of women out there who are leveling themselves up, doing the things that are chosen suffering. They're still the feminine, cooperative, submissive, inspirational women that we're looking at. There are plenty of women out there. All I'm saying, though, is that they are becoming a rare breed the same way that good men are becoming a rare breed. That's all I'm saying. Right. Okay, so make no mistake. When I teach women about shooting for the top 20% of men, the men need to do the same thing. There's a lot of women out there who are not going to make the cut. Some are just for the streets, man. You just let them go. These girls who are out there with high body counts, masculine, they're for the streets. Just move on from them. The boss bitches, ignore them. Don't even pay any attention to them. But the top 15, top 20% of women out there, guys, when you run across one of them women and you recognize it, because my teachings are trying to help you guys recognize and separate the boss bees and the independents from the feminine women and the cooperative and the ones that are going to make your life easier, not harder. And when you find one of them women, don't you let them go.
Yeah, don't screw up.
Don't screw up, man. Okay. In order for you to make sure that you can seize the opportunity and get lucky with a good wife, remember this: the definition of luck is when opportunity meets preparedness. So if you are not, the reason why I'm asking you guys to be on your grind and on your purpose, and I'm driving this shit home for you, is because time and chance happens to us all. And if your future wife walks in front of your path before you're ready for her, you've lost it. You're not going to be lucky. Okay. That has happened to some of us. There are women and men listening to this podcast right now that know that there is a person in their past that was the one that got away. We can all think of one that we go, man, that was probably her. I wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. She wasn't ready.
I was finding myself.
That's what I'm. Yeah, I was learning myself. I was trying to figure myself out. I couldn't. If he was a man, I couldn't afford for a family at the time. Whatever the case may be, level yourself up. Make sure you're choosing chosen suffering, and then that way, when God or Allah or whomever you believe in brings the right person in your path, you can seize the opportunity and be one of the lucky ones that have a 50-year wonderful, fulfilled marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. There are plenty of women out there who are good quality women, but just like men, they're now falling into that top 20%, where in our great grandparents' age, they're the top 80%. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Let's talk. Before we go on, guys, if you can, please make sure to support the page by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button. That way, whenever Dwayne, Eric, or myself go live on Dad Talk Today, you guys are notified, okay? We don't have that many likes on the page, and there's a bunch of people watching. So if you guys don't mind, just kind of hit that like button for us. Thank you. I see it going up now. Thanks, guys. Okay.
Can I talk to the guys for a second?
Go ahead.
Just kind of adding in there. So, and I want to talk to the guys here because, to Jimmy's point, about getting ready, and you need to be working yesterday to get to where you need to be. It needs to be a daily thing. But I see so many. You'll have a good woman that starts out good, and then she'll date a Chad. And we got to come up with maybe a different name. Hopefully, there's no Chads in here, but she'll date a Chad that'll basically screw her over, and then that hardens her heart, and then they will change, and they'll become hardened and turn into sometimes feminists and stuff like that. Guys, screwing everything that moves, quit doing it. I mean, I guess I could say this as a 50-year-old guy, and I'm not 20 anymore, but quit screwing everything that moves. Quit doing, especially quit impregnating. I'm going on a tangent. Quit impregnating women. I mean, we've had condoms. I mean, it's a big thing since I don't know when. It's not that hard, or no pun intended, but quit impregnating women.
Yes.
Because it's causing, again, with the 63% of millennials that are single moms, and these are a lot of these are one-night stands, and we all know how one-night stands happen. Wear a condom or don't do it. Work on yourself and quit doing this crap, because that's what's causing. I mean, it takes two to tango. I know a lot of times we say, hey, women, this. For the guys, you've got to be in control of yourself. You don't have to screw everything that moves. Like, date a woman, meaning learn who she is, figure out the red flags, figure out if you can deal with the red flags, and then figure out if you're going to date that person or move on to someone else. But quit screwing everything that moves. I mean, there's the data that's out there right now nationally is, I gotta say, it's ridiculous. I mean, the number of one-night stands that result in pregnancy. I'm trying to imagine the scenarios where this works or how this happens, but it's scary. I mean, and it's not going to be good for the future of America. I mean, that it's a society.
I can give women and men one tip right now that will take away 75% of all the BS that happens in your life. If you just wait to have children after you're married, 75% of all the problems in the US would go away. Stop having babies outside of wedlock. Put a freaking wrapper on it and stop playing games, okay? The amount of brain damage that she causes herself, he causes himself for having children and babies with men and women that are not going to be married to each other is absurd, okay? You'll take care of 75% of all your brain damage if you just do that one piece of advice. Dwayne, let me show everyone something real fast. I read this while you were talking, and I want to give a nice shout out to Jay Andre. Guys, read this. My boy right now is waiting at Walgreens to get his 2 girls from his ex-wife. The last time he's seen his girls was in November. Man, I am proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you. I hope you have a great time with your daughters today. God bless you, man. I know that probably took a while because November was a long time away. Here's some advice from Alicia. Don't enter situationships. Good advice. Good advice, young lady. Yeah, we got some good stuff, man. We got some good comments down here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Yeah.
As I'm dealing, I do a lot of other stuff, pissed off parent stuff and pulling data, and I'm very data centric. When I see the numbers, I've been doing this for about a decade now, and when I see this, alcohol's not your friend in this scenario. Yeah,
it's so true.
Get true. Do something. I mean, and then just the damage to the child. There's just so many different pieces. Like, guys, if she ain't gonna do it and wants to have unprotected sex with you, I don't know why. Wrap it, get a V, tell her you just want to talk and be friends, something, because it's an epidemic. I mean, again, 63% of all millennials, single mothers. That is a scary. Well, United States is number 1 in single family households. We're at 24. We notched up another percent. We're 24% of all households out of all households in America are single family households.
Ladies, I'm gonna give you the inside tip on what my experience is, okay? Because I coach men and I talk to men constantly. No capping. I'm being honest with you right now, okay? It is an overwhelmingly large majority. I'm talking 99% of the last 10 years I've heard this. If you are a single lady that has children outside of wedlock, you will be looked differently on the open dating market.
Oh, yeah.
Once you have children, and God bless your children, but let me tell you something. Finding a man that's going to take on the responsibility of being a stepfather in today's world, you might as well play the scratch off, because guys are telling me they have no intentions on becoming stepfathers. They're not. It is a awful situation for a man to be a stepfather. This is not the 1970s where it was honorable. It is very, very, very hard. Please, ladies, stop having children outside of wedlock. If you are married and you have children and you divorce, that's looked at differently. Okay. It's looked at differently. But if you've never been married and you have multiple children or children with multiple men, I have heard, I'm not saying this is my words, these are the words of other men. These men have honestly, behind closed doors, behind your back, they've said this. They've told me that women with kids are recreational use only. Not my words. Not my words. That's the words of men who are out there looking for dating women. So just please, I'm not saying all men are like this, but enough to where it's going to limit your choices. Be smart about this and take Dwayne's advice. So you want to drive the point home a little bit more on the hard mode thing, because I think that the hard mode thing was kind of a good little topic. So
yeah, let's
continue to talk about some suffering. Who wants to suffer? All right. So hard mode, right? Guys, on hard mode, men, the reason why men must suffer in order to live life and be fulfilled is because when a man is born, he has no value. None. He has no value. Unlike women, okay? Men must earn our value. Women are given their value with their beauty and their fitness. That's why young women get on VIPs. That's why when young women get an unlimited supply of men. When you're a 21-year-old man, ladies' night, free drinks. I mean, women actually go out to clubs and never have to even open up their purse. They get drunk. They have a great time. They never even spend any money. Is there any man who's ever went to a club and gotten drunk and didn't spend money? I mean, is that even never? You're always dropping a few $100, always. But anyways, let me digress. Okay. So let's talk about the value, right? Value for women, value for men. Okay. Who determines men's value? Women. Just like men get to pick what we deem valuable in women, they deem what's valuable in us. So let's go over some of the things that, women want from men. So that way you guys can understand kind of where I'm going with this. And guys, women don't want much. I mean, they're very simple. They're very simple. They're very simple. I mean, honestly, they don't expect much, just a couple things, a couple things like, I don't know, risking our lives to protect theirs, being physically attractive, having a hard body, empathy, being nurturing, being kind, but not too emotional, not too nurturing and too kind, being intelligent, honesty, ambitious, but not too ambitious, not too ambitious, because you still got to make time for them.
Time. Right.
Yeah. Morality, hardworking, good work ethic, financially successful, loyal, dependable, competent, independent, self-reliant, strong, tough, polite, respectful. Should I keep going? Being able to multitask, being masculine, but not too masculine, because you might hurt their feelings. You got to be good in bed. You got to express your feelings, but you can't express too much feelings because then she won't respect you. You have to have hobbies. You have to have interests, but not too many interests or hobbies, because then she'll feel like you're not spending enough time with her. Listen to me, okay? You have to be affectionate. You have to have open communication. You have to have non-sexual affection, and she wants him to lead. But guys, outside of that, I mean, you really don't have to do much. It's pretty easy. I mean, outside of that, you're pretty much pretty good.
But you have to accept her as she is, with all of her flaws. When she makes a mistake, that's supposed to be okay. Her, 3 kids, 3 different baby daddies, who come first, but we have to be all these things. Okay. All right. Check. All right.
Yeah. So this is why I say that women live life on easy mode and men live life on hard mode. These are some of the reasons why I say that. So that's also why men get hard mode benefits. In other words, if I sleep with a bunch of women, people respect me. Why? Because it's hard for a man to sleep with a bunch of women. I have to have a certain swag. I have to have an aura. I have to have a charisma about me. I can't just sleep with a bunch of women without any talent or skill. It's way harder for a man to get laid than it is for a woman. For a man, you have to have a good career. You have to be in shape. You have to be charismatic. You have to have nice shoes. You have to have a fake job. You have to make her laugh. You have to have all these things. A woman just needs to show up, and a woman can ask a random dude on the street if he wants it, and she'll have all the sex that she wants. It's much better. That's why women can easily sleep with a bunch of men. And that's why women lose value with a higher body count, because you were given your value up front, your beauty up front. Men have to create our value. So women live life on easy mode, which is why they don't get hard mode benefits. So that's the point I want to just point out. I mean, a woman could be on a $10 million yacht this weekend if you guys wanted to. Most of you could be on a yacht if you wanted to, but not men. We're going to have to go out there and we're going to have to buy the yacht if we want one. So men, if we can't change the situation and we can't live life on easy mode, then at least what we can do is we can change how we view about the situation. Okay. So whether or not you're out there to get laid or not, if you are not where you feel that you need to be in life, then this is my tip for you. If you're not where you want to be, then you need to be spending less than 10% of your time focusing on women. That's the truth. Okay. If you're not, as a man, where you want to be in life, you need to stop spending so much time focusing on women. The real movers and shakers, the real high value men out there, guys, let me be honest with you. Okay. Real high value men, they don't sit around talking about women all day. Okay. I've been around these high value type of men, and yeah, sure. I mean, we do sit around and we talk about women sometimes, and we talk about sex and all that. I'm not saying we don't, but we only do that for about 10% at most at the time. The rest of the time, these guys are talking about business, stocks, bonds, retirement, money, goals, things like that. Guys are not tripping up on women, talking about them all the time. These movers and shakers are talking about their future, not women. Women are an outcome, a production of where they're at, not the reason why they get to where they're at. So, successful men, honestly, they spend far less time than you think talking about women. So guys, you've got to get out there and suffer. You've got to build yourself up, because when you do, you will get the hard mode benefits on life. That's the point I want to drive home about why you have to suffer as a man. Now, if you have to suffer and you don't get a choice of suffering, which we already disclosed that you don't, life is going to make you suffer one way or the other.
Yep.
You do not get a choice of suffering or no suffering. Suffering is coming your way. All I'm saying is, if you can't change the situation, then at least change how you feel about the situation. Okay. Choose chosen suffering instead of life making you choose the unchosen suffering for you. Let's go to the comment section. Let's see what some people got here, because I know there's some good ones over here. here, going back to the dating one, Todd said, alcohol is not your friend in this scenario. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So true. We
So
all have
true.
stories, Todd. We all have stories. I remember, I'll tell you a quick story. I remember being at this club years ago, and I remember thinking this chick was a straight up 8 or 9. Like, bro, Dwayne, she
Beer
was
goggles.
hot. She was hot, man. And let me tell you something. It was late. I was tanked. We go out the back door. Who's sitting there? My boys are sitting there waiting for me because they don't know where the hell they were. Here I am with this chick, and they look at me and they're like, Big Show, what are you doing, bro? I'm like, I'm taking this chick home. You are not taking her home. Get in the car. Bro, I need the keys. Give me the keys. I'm taking this girl home. First of all, you are not driving. Second of all, you're not taking that mud duck home. And I'm like,
Shallow Hal.
she is hot, bro. And then they're like, no.
Little Shallow Hal moment there.
Yeah. And you know, whenever you're drunk, you get like these quick 2-second like sober moments. I got my 2-second sober moments and I said, hey, give me 1 second, hon. Give me 1 second. And I walk up, I go, hey, okay, listen. I'll be honest. I'm shit-faced. Okay. I'm not even going to lie. I want you to be 100% honest with me, bro. This chick over there looks hot as F. Is she really hot? They go, bro, she looks like a Saskatchewan Rough Rider. She is not hot. I go, oh my God, I almost slept with a mud duck. They go, get in the freaking car. I go, hey, listen, I gotta check with you later. I'll talk to you later. I got in the car, we left. If I had slept with her, I would have bragged to all my friends the next day about this hot chick I banged, and she would have been a straight up 4. My friends, my sober friends, saved me from the embarrassment of bragging about someone that did not deserve to be bragged about. So Todd, yes, alcohol is not your friend in this scenario. I'll never forget that day. They look me straight in the eye and go, bro, she is seriously. She is so ugly. She could make a train take a dirt road. Get in the car. I'm like, damn it. My game is not as good as I thought it was. But all right. So Canada, you guys got the same issues there. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What we got, Sabrina? Yeah, she's giving some props. Appreciate that. Okay. Yep. All right, Mr. John Brown, what you got for me? Women can't pick a meal on the first date. How is that woman gonna make the hard decision in life if she can't pick a meal?
And every time I go to a restaurant, I order the same thing. Brandy takes, I'll be nice and say 5-10 minutes. Then she picks the same thing that she's always picked. But yeah, I think it's a universal.
I am convinced that 80% of the problems in a relationship is just trying to figure out what the hell you're going to eat for dinner.
Yeah.
All right, Rich, what you got, Rich? Aaron, in general, it's actually easier for single dads and single moms. Okay, let's see. I've had some fun picking chicks up in bars, but I'm not going to say it's not been all.
Yeah, I just.
Oh my God, jeez,
Goggles
man.
are real.
Oh my God. They are.
They are very, very real. Yeah. I was thinking, like, back when, kids were 17, 18, high school or early on, why is it all the girls pick the guys with the hot car, no money, no job, no future, and then the guy that's like trying to make something out of himself, they just ignore him again until the middle 20s when they get into their, when they've already popped out a kid, gotten divorced a couple times, whatever. And then they're like, hey, how's it going, to the guy that they ignored when they were 17, 18. It's like what?
The hunt. The answer is the hunt. Women love to hunt. Women love men that they can't get. They love it. That's why I always teach men when men come to me, they can do consultations with me for a bunch of different reasons: career, finance, clocking women, whatever the case may be. And whenever the men come to me and they want advice on how to attract women, not necessarily for long-term, but short-term reasons, I train guys on how to do that too. I've done a few of them myself. One of the biggest tips that I tell men is stop validating women. Because every guy out there are telling her how hot she is. One of the best tactics that I do whenever I'm trying to attract the attention of a beautiful woman is I do not validate her. I don't validate her pictures. I don't validate her beauty. I'm the guy who I make her chase my validation, and she hates it because she's got 20 guys telling her how good looking she is, but one guy never compliments her. It's like reverse psychology. So
Right.
it kind of works the same way for women also. So when you're that guy, who is not necessarily all up her rear end, he's that guy who just doesn't seem to care. He's that bad boy. He's the guy that she can't acquire or can't get, she can't tame. And so you want to have that, don't take it too far, right? I mean, don't be complete jerk mode, but you want to be able to, let her know that with or without her, you're just fine. And she'll be almost obsessed with trying to acquire you if you're not validating her every freaking move. But so in closing, guys, let's talk about this in closing. Okay. Let me give you guys some real truth. Your mind is actually the biggest obstacle. I mean, pretty much everything you get in life, all of your accomplishments, all of your failures, pretty much derived from you. There's a lot of people out there that are blaming the economy. They're blaming their bosses. They're blaming their spouse, their whatever. I mean, you look, if it's your boss, you're the one that chose to work for him. You're the one that chose to work there. You're the one that applied for the job. And if you don't like it, then just leave. End the suffering. If it's your spouse, then you have to understand and take accountability that you're the one that chose her. You already know that men control access to relationships. We decide if she's our girlfriend or our wife. You're the guy that made the decision to invite her into your life. If you got a problem with the government, you can always pick up and move to a state that more aligns with your political views. That's the great thing about the United States of America. Hell, you can even leave the entire country if you wanted to. Okay. It's all up to you. So you have to understand that your mind is the biggest obstacle. Pretty much all the bad things that happen to your life, from your successes or to your failures, is probably derived from you in some sort of way. So use your mind for more productive things. Find solutions. Be careful not to make big deals out of small things. Some guys do that a lot too. It kind of bothers me when these guys get all bent out of shape about politics. They get all twisted up about women. Like, guys, calm down. Okay. Don't make big deals over small things, because a lot of these things are within your grasp, within your control. The more emotionally weaker folks out there play the victim role. You've seen the look on Dwayne's face. He hates when people play the victim role. Okay. And you can't blame him, because you're not special. You're not the only one that has issues. You're not the only one that life kicks in the ass on a weekly or daily basis. We all have to go through it. So man up, put your big boy panties on, and deal with the things that are within your grasp, within your control. I don't want you guys complaining about zero-sum game stuff. Don't complain about that stuff. Don't make mountains out of molehills here when things don't really need to matter all that much. We all probably know a bunch of people who do that. I mean, we're probably even the ones that do it ourselves, and it's really unnecessarily. Instead, make a big deal out of some things that actually matter. Make big deals out of something that's actually going to complicate your life. Focus on making big deals out of those. Like, if someone actually puts your business or your family in danger, make a mountain out of those things. Don't make mountains out of things that don't really need to be making mountains out of. Also, learn how to walk away. I've given that advice a lot of times too. You can't always control the emotions of people around you, but you can control the situation, and you can control whether or not you stay in there or leave in there. And your ability to walk away at any time is a very powerful tool, especially for men. Learn how to identify problem areas and problem people. You get better at doing these things as you get older. You're going to invite some people into your life that you probably shouldn't, especially in your younger years. I mean, and these people are going to do more harm for you than good. You've got to be able to vet better, and you don't get to just continue to vet bad, or your life's going to be exponentially worse. You might have even allowed some low value women in your life that you shouldn't have, and those women will complicate your life unnecessarily. You've got to watch out for low value men and low value women. Watch out who you allow in your space and in your life. If you make these mistakes in your 20s, it's understandable, maybe even in your 30s. But if you guys are going to keep doing these kinds of things in your 40s, you're just inviting chaos into your life, and your problems are going to be self-inflicted. That's why I'm not giving you guys any slack. Because if you guys are past your 30s and you're in your 40s or especially 50s or 60s and you haven't learned these lessons, it's self-inflicted. You've got to take ownership for this stuff. I mean, the whole reason why I even do these podcasts, why Dwayne and I teach all of these things that we teach, are to help you guys avoid the stuff, this kind of stuff, so that way you're not inviting pain into your life, which amplifies into the suffering that we've been talking about. Remember that suffering's going to be mandatory. It's going to be mandatory, but some suffering is an option that some of you guys just create on your own. So don't add unnecessarily suffering into a life that's already requires you to suffer. You don't need to make the mountain steeper than it's already there. Okay. In closing, let me say this. Okay, folks, if you're lost right now, if you're looking for answers, if you're close to giving up, remember Isaiah 54:17, I think it is. No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against you in judgment, you shall condemn. This is the heritage of those that are servants of the Lord. Remember that. No one can form a weapon against you unless you allow it. And also, guys, especially the guys who are out there that are going through the shit right now, remember this. God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. So don't give up. Keep fighting. Guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today to the Big Show. Alongside of me is my co-host and color commentator, Dwayne Ward. We're always really appreciative of the comments that you guys give, the interaction of the show. We hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Please don't forget to like before you click off today, and also subscribe. The Big Show is a live show that was done here on Dad Talk Today every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of The Big Show. Until then, make this week the best you possibly can, and we'll see you soon.